What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. So today I wanted to make a quick video about my S2000. I know I haven't made videos in quite a while, and I thought I owe it to you guys to do one today. If any of you guys are looking to buy an S2000, I really highly recommend it. It's an amazing car stock, but it's also very amazing when you start modifying it the way that you want to modify it. I've owned that car for about 2 years, since I purchased it stock to the way it sat a year after, which was, when I had the Mugen wheels and the endless brakes and the Mugen top and all that stuff, to when I parted out. That transition was kind of strange to me because I had it stock and then I had it really done up real nice, moderately. Then I parted out, went back to stock, with the exception of being on 17-inch wheels instead of the stock AP1 wheels, which are the 16s. It drove really nice, but it just didn't feel like how it should be. So long story short, I kept the car and I started modding it again, and actually went back the same route that I did before, which was the same coilovers, BBK, and maybe changed my modification mindset from, instead of having aesthetic parts, I actually ended up doing some performance. So I want to go make a video about the top 5 mods that I think are the best that you can buy for the S2000 to really enhance the feel of owning that car. The first mod that I want to go ahead and address is the suspension. Stock suspension on the AP1 in my car, it felt really stiff, but in a weird squiggly way. I just didn't really like the way it felt, especially over some hard dips and stuff like that. I just felt like it was gonna lose itself. And I guess that's a common issue on the AP1. It's probably not as stiff as AP2, but I drove around the car stock for about 6 months to 10 months or so, and I just didn't like the way it felt. And what I ended up doing was just getting coilovers again. So I do recommend getting coilovers for the car. It does drive a lot nicer. Some people want to go, affordable entry-level tier, around $800 to $1,000 coilovers, and then there's a little bit more better coilovers for a couple $100 more, and then you get stuff that are like almost $2,000. In my case, I have the Oling coilovers, the dual flow valves, and I've bought that previously. Car was amazing. Took it to a couple track days, sold that, and then I rebought them again, and I think they're definitely worth the money. So in my situation, in my case, in my personal preference, I definitely recommend getting coilovers for your S2000 if you really want to feel how agile and how nice that car handles from street race or street driving to track use. Not street racing, I don't recommend it. Second mod I'd recommend that anyone gets are a nice set of wheels and tires on it. The stock wheels are kind of skinny. You could get away with getting some wider tires and even get like compound tires, but to a point, getting wider tires like a 255 on a stock AP2 wheel, I feel like it's kind of pushing it a little bit on the sidewall. I do recommend getting the right width for the car. So if you want to run 255 tire, I recommend at least getting a 8.5 to 9.5 width wheel. I guess that's just my personal preference. There's a lot of physics and stuff that goes into those type of sizes and those type of width on the wheels, especially when you do take it to the track. It does play a big role in your grip, the durability, and other circumstances like that. But definitely a good set of wheels and tires. In my case, I got the Advan wheels I purchased from my buddy RJ. He had them laying around. I bought them, test fitted them, and they actually fit the stock body S2000 perfectly. I'm running a 225/45 tire in the front. I'm running a 255/40 tire in the rear. This is kind of like the spec that most people do recommend getting for stock body. I think it's perfect. One day I eventually want to do a square setup so I can run 255/40 tires all around. Maybe get some compound tires. Right now I'm just doing some all-season tires since we live in Florida. It's been raining and stuff. So ideally I just want to keep it safe, but whenever time comes, maybe I'll get a new set of wheels with some nicer compound tires, and that's gonna be really fun. The third mod that I do recommend anyone get to really enhance the driving of the car, or somewhat performance as well, is an exhaust system. Stock is okay, you can hear the engine, and it does, it functions well. The car was designed perfectly and it functions very well, but I do recommend getting some sort of an exhaust system later on. Eventually I did get kind of bored and tiresome of my AP1 exhaust. I just didn't sound like anything, honestly. You just mainly hear the engine, and that's the truth of it. But I do recommend getting an exhaust, something a little throaty, up to your preference. You can do a single or dual. In my case, I actually found a Mugen titanium exhaust. It's the V2, so it came off the AP2, but it fits the AP1 bumper perfectly fine. I did do a video on that, so you could go ahead and watch that video. It's titanium mufflers, and the rest is, I believe, is stainless steel. It was great, you know, like it gave it a little bit more sound, a little throatier than OEM, and it's just perfect for me. And I think the best thing that I've kind of got from that is the weight reduction. I did lose probably 20 pounds, maybe 15, from just swapping the exhaust because of the titanium mufflers. The AP1 exhaust was quite heavy, AP2 exhaust was not, or the Mugen exhaust was not. So that's the third mod I do recommend anyone getting. It really changes the dynamic of the driving of the car with rev matching and shifting, and especially when it hits, you know, up to 9K RPMs. So that's what I think. The fourth mod that I do recommend getting is something that is kind of overlooked. If anyone that's driven a stock S2000, literally sitting inside of it, the stock S2000 seats are phenomenal compared to many OEM seats. It's somewhat of a bucket style, it's reclinable, it's really nice, but when you put a bucket seat into that car, it changes the whole driving experience, the whole dynamic, everything. You feel really at one with the car, if that makes sense. To be snugged into a seat without any swing, without any body roll. Your shoulders are fixed in that position where you can focus on your shifting, your steering. It's for me, for just street driving or even at the track, when I did have a Recaro pole position, now I have a Recaro SPG. It really is an amazing feeling, and I really do recommend anyone getting a really high quality bucket seat that's gonna not flex and bow on you. So what I'm saying is get authentic if you can. In any car I drive, any sports car I drive, a bucket seat really changes the dynamic of that car, and a lot of people would definitely agree with that modification. And you know, sometimes you can find used seats for like 600 bucks if they're authentic, or you know, like in some cases Recaros hold value, so you know, maybe 800 bucks. But I do recommend that as a mod to really overly enhance the driving experience of an S2000. And last, the fifth and final mod that's really not necessary, but to me really changed the feel of the car when you're pushing it or driving it hard, is BBK. So you can get a really nice brake system, brake rotor with pads and all that stuff for factory brakes, because the factory S2000 brakes are phenomenal. They work very well, but I am so spoiled because of my previous cars, of my TSX, my ISF, my R34 Skyline, and even the endless brakes I had on the S2000 before. Just to have that touchy feeling on the brake pedal and having the car stop when you want it to really changes everything. When you switch from a daily driver or an SUV to your, you know, sports car with a BBK system, it just feels phenomenal. And I think that's really something that people don't want to dig into, and people can argue all day, you know, why are you spending thousands of dollars or whatever on a BBK system? You know, they're right. You really don't need it, but I personally think, at least with the exception of changing your stainless steel brake lines, or changing to stainless steel brake lines, it really adds a little bit more peace of mind, I guess, when you're hitting the track or needing that stopping power when you're going a little too fast. And I tell you what, I have now, the Stop Tech trophies. They're amazing. Eventually I'm gonna get rear BBK to match the front. If not, do a rotor upgrade where you put a adapter and it takes the OEM rear caliper, and then you put a bigger rotor on it. And I don't know, man, it's good for cooling purposes, so it doesn't overheat and seize up during the track. Also, it looks really nice, to be honest with you. And lucky for me, those Advans actually cleared the Stop Techs, so I didn't have to get another set of wheels or run spacers. But anyway, yeah, that's not a necessary mod, but definitely something that's gonna change the dynamic feel of the car. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this video that I put together. I wanted to briefly talk about the modifications on my S2000, just to show you guys what I have on it now. There are other little mods here and there, like a steering wheel and shifter. All that stuff wasn't really on my top 5. I just want to show you guys who wants to venture into a sports car of any kind, but specifically in S2000. Those 5 mods are really a game changer, in my opinion, and any car enthusiast can most likely agree. You know, there's some people that's gonna say, oh no, you need to get the wheels and camera kit, and get a wide body, and you gotta get, whatever it is. It's all subjective, all personal preference and opinions. But in my opinion, if you really want to enjoy the best driving experience of the Honda S2000, I do recommend looking into those mods. In no particular order, it's just up to you guys. Just make sure you get quality parts. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please, if you have a chance, subscribe, like the video, put on your notifications. Check out the other videos. There's a playlist full of different topics that I've touched base on in the past 5-6 years of having my YouTube channel, and hopefully I can make more videos like this. If you guys have any more suggestions, please leave it below or visit my Instagram. You can always message me. I'm always on Instagram, so I always reply back to anyone that messaged me. So yeah, see you guys on the next video. Peace.